somewhere along the line, I deleted all the footage for the next WWMJ. This cold has really been messing with me. Fortunately, it has progressed from something that made me feel like I was whacked in the head with a 2x4 to an obnoxious throat bug. So I'm just throwing some cough drops at it and doing whatever. A little cheaper than the regular cold medicine anyways. Just gotta keep my sinuses clear and I should be good. Yeah, it's gonna be more of an annoyance than anything else. Then again, maybe it has something to do with this wacky weather. I don't know. But anyways, I gotta make up for that WWMJ sometime later on since I've now officially blown one away by accident. Yeah, anywho. Yes, that's a Garant scoop. Yes, I'm getting serious about snow removal next time we get any decent amount of snow. Yes, you can actually find those in Connecticut if you know where to look. Yes, they're made in Canada. Ah, yes, I do believe the Canadians might know a thing or two about snow. So, the Silver Bullet is going to be gutted as part of the Great Sift because the motherboard died. I think that video card might be bogus as well. I gotta take out all these parts that I might want to recycle and see what I'm going to do with this darn thing. So... maybe see if I can get some replacement metal covers for the back of the case without going to a junkyard and just taking them off of computer cases that are being recycled. Whatever. Anyways, there's been people leaving YouTube comments, oh no, YouTube comments, asking me about the Silver Bullet's case. And they're over here like, dude, that case is so cool. I want one of those. What kind of case is that? I want to get one. No, you do not. And that's the purpose of today's video, is to talk about the fact that you do not want this case. It is obsolete, it is outdated, and I've even hack jobbed in some USB ports. Some front USB ports after breaking the original ones within 6 months of getting this thing. That should tell you something. Still some drives in there, and I actually wound up duct taping this one's door as well, because after 10 plus years, the plastic finally started cracking on this thing, and I don't know how I took the paint off in the front over the span of this thing's life cycle or whatever. But the truth is that you do not want this case. That is just the undeniable fact. If you want this case, you're an idiot. And here's why. The design is woefully outdated. This case is the kind of case that Alienware PCs had on them in the early 2000s. Years and years and years ago, when Alienware was first becoming a major brand, or at least when I first learned about them, they were making these kinds of cases. Now, besides the spaghetti from the fan controller, there's all kinds of reasons why you would not want this case. First, it's aluminum, not steel. Aluminum is thinner than steel, and this case has resonance issues. If you have your optical drives spinning at a certain RPM, or your fan's spinning at a certain RPM, the whole case will start vibrating because it's aluminum instead of steel. It's flimsy compared to the steel version of this. Tuxedo is built in the one of the steel revisions of this case, but this is the old one that has 80mm fans. Yes, 80mm fans. It predates when 120s became a standard. Today, 140s are the enthusiast fan size that you will find in tower cases like this. So it shows how far back we're going. As far as who made it, this case is actually made by Chief Tech, which I think was an anglicizing or something of Chen Ming, an overseas company. But I've seen versions of this case floating around out there by Chief Tech, Chen Ming, and Apivia even towards the end of its life cycle. Regardless, this case sucks. You don't want it. It's an old power supply on top design, so the heat from the processor and everything is going to go up into the power supply. Pardon the cold, by the way, and the furnace just fired up. You'll hear old Clunky firing up in the background. Also, notice the drive cages going this way instead of coming outward. So if you have drives in the wrong spot on here, they might bump into your video card if it comes too far forward. And you're going to have to worry about the wires and where they're going, because there is no built-in cable management. There's no motherboard tray, there's no built-in cable management. It's a soup can of an aluminum case. You've got terrible design. You have removable drive cages, but they have to come out this way instead of just coming straight out. Likewise with these. It has to go this way, so Worst case scenario, you have to take out your video card if one of your hard drives dies in the bottom cage. Fans are all 80mm, so that's lower CFM and higher noise than just about everything out there nowadays. 80mm is not taken seriously anymore in terms of cooling computers, unless you have a computer that keeps itself cool on its own, like a very low-end one. That's what I'm thinking I might end up putting in here eventually, is like a cabini system or something. Probably not with this power supply, because this 610-watt PC power and cooling tank is probably overkill compared to what I would need for a cabini system. But if I can fit a micro ATX or mini ITX in here, that's probably what I'm going to eventually do, because I can't put anything serious in here in terms of cooling. I can't put any components in here that require any serious cooling whatsoever, because all it has is 80mm fans. The minute I need any kind of serious cooling, now I got a system that's going to be making a lot of noise. There's no noise dampening material, and it's an aluminum case. It's terrible. You don't want it. I don't know how many more times I'm going to have to say this, but I'll say it however many times that I need to. This computer is rubbish. You don't want it. Stop asking for details on it. Get yourself a real case. Get yourself a fractal design. Get yourself a Nanoxia. Get yourself a Corsair. Get yourself anything that isn't 15 years old like this thing is, or pushing it. I picked this sucker up, I believe I built this in 2003? No, 2. My very first Newegg purchase was November 1st, 2002. And that was when I was putting this together, because the computer that was supposed to get me through college didn't. Now, another big problem that I ran into with this is that Newegg was out of the case that I wanted. So I actually wound up paying more to get one with a window. Yay! But I really don't care about windows. What exactly is the point of having one of these cases with a window if there is zero cable management, unless you hide some zip ties behind the drive cages or something? It's pointless. The only use I have for this thing, put just enough punch into this thing to make it into an entry-level gaming system, and don't put in a lot of fans, because I have to turn the fans all the way down because of how loud it'll be otherwise. Put in just enough punch to play games on this thing and call it. That's all. Then it'll be a nice portable system that I can take over folks' houses, like naysayers who don't understand why I'm so into PC gaming, and why I think PC gaming has a very bright future, because of how flexible, oops, get the thing over from the jump starter, because of how flexible PC gaming can be. The unfortunate part is that this computer would still look like a computer, so it would still look kind of stupid. I could technically use it as a console, and it would have nice cooling because of all the space, even if the fans were garbage. And the dissipation, aluminum dissipates heat a little bit better than steel does, so you'll see this cool top case warm up quite a bit more if you were to put this back into service. But all things considered, yeah, no rubber feet on the bottom either. The Silver Bullets case is garbage. Nobody should be still looking for a case like this anymore. Get yourself a real case, like a fractal design, something that's actually designed with an enthusiast in mind. Actually, JoanneTechLover was showing off this humongous Nanoxia case not too long ago. That's got a little thing that pops up. If you need more fans, it comes up. If you don't, it closes down. There's all kinds of great stuff out there in the world of cases these days. By the way, silver. Where do you see silver anymore, except on that monitor that's about as old as this thing is? Matter of fact, these two used to play very nicely together back in the early to mid-2000s. Yeah, it sucks. This case is garbage. By the way, no dust filters. You have to hack job some in if you want to have any kind of dust filter whatsoever. And good luck with the front fans being 80mm. Right. Speaking of 80mm fans, this cage originally had a fan mount, so your drives would jet out even further and probably crash into your video card all that much more. This was a nice case in the early 2000s. Today, it's an outdated relic. But were it not for the sentimental value that I have towards the original Silver Bullet system, because it was the first computer I ever built and it got me through college when the HP that I had that was supposed to get me through college didn't, I wouldn't still have this case. So, I'm running into the ground largely as a nod to what it was. not necessarily what it is. Again, you do not want this case. Please, people, stop kidding yourselves and build yourself a real computer in a real case. This thing is an outdated relic that I hold on to exclusively for sentimental reasons. MultimediaJay out.